Hey everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies podcast episode 154. I am one of your hosts, Adam, and I'm joined today by our esteemed panel of guests. Over there on the computer, Darren.
I'm Aaron, yeah, hey.
Sitting to my immediate right is Sandy.
Hey.
And then there's that dipshit on the other end of the couch. The esteemed lore master and fan of and ultimate ladies man, Andrew.
So.
Look at that suave. Today we are playing Tomb Raider 2011.
13.
13? I thought it was 2011.
You might have had an early copy of it, but that's when it came out.
Anyway, we're playing that because we don't know what else to play, and this is a good game.
Well, I mean, the movie came out. It seems relevant.
Also, maybe more things around the corner. I think I woke the kids up.
Nah, that's fine.
Hey.
I think anyway, whatever. Oh,
Whatever.
God.
Hey! Did you know that I came to campus today for one class? Which is now canceled. But now I have some free time to make a topic list.
Yeah, so Rory made the topic list today, apparently, and he filled it with about 24 things. But he's, as you can see, he's not on this podcast.
Nope.
So, we got a lot to talk about here in the realm of movies and such. Yeah. First up, did you know that Danny Boyle, the director of such films as 28 Days Later, Sunshine, Slumdog Millionaire, and 27 Hours.
127 hours.
127 hours.
See, because one of those was far less arduous than the other. One of those is just camping.
See, I almost got it right. I didn't say 28 days, which was,
Camping really badly.
Oh my god.
Series of unfortunate events or something. Where, like, the dude goes camping and then gets his arm caught in a hole.
Was Count Olaf in that film? He was played by what's his name, right? Jim Carrey.
Yeah. He was in the films. He wasn't in the Netflix series.
Is the Netflix series any good?
I don't know because I didn't really pay much attention to the actual movies when they came out. Other than that Emily Browning is in it. And that's the only reason I would watch it.
Netflix series, it was what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good old Lemony Snicket.
Anyway. He might be directing the next James Bond film.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
That's good. I'm a huge fan of Daniel.
Is it good? Okay. Is Daniel Craig doing it?
I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
Do I have to push this? I can't remember. Or do I gotta jump to that thing?
I think Danny Boyle might be playing Bond. So.
What?
Oh, I gotta fill this. All right.
Who do you think they're gonna pick for new Bond? Once Daniel Craig has had his fill.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. Tom
maybe.
Hardy.
I don't think Tom Hiddleston is gonna robust.
Robust.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
What about
Hugh Jackman? That was a popular little stoner.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, if he lost muscle mass somehow.
What about the guy everyone hates but also don't? He was Joker.
Oh God, no.
No, not Jared Leto.
No,
Yeah, Jared Leto.
Not Jared Leto.
He's in everything. Did you see The Outsider, the new movie on Netflix?
No.
It's about him and the Yakuza. I haven't seen it either.
No,
I was looking at watching it, but I haven't actually seen it yet.
White guy goes to Japan, Yakuza.
Yeah. Way to whitewash a story about a white guy. Hey, Geralt is coming to Soul Calibur.
Again, I have to ask, why do you read it out with such weird inflections? I don't understand.
I'm trying to add a little excitement here.
Okay.
To a rather vapid podcast, if I may say so.
Man, no, I'm excited now. Let's do it.
Sitting right here, man.
Is it,
Ho ho!
you can't say that online. The V word.
Come on, I'm excited.
Vapid?
Yeah.
Vapid anus. What were you talking about?
Geralt is in Soul Calibur 7? Is it the new Soul Calibur? Or is he being added retroactively to
6?
6?
Isn't it?
No, he's gonna be
shit.
He's gonna be a new extra character in the new Soul Calibur. So they always have at least one or two.
Well, they never always did, but they have had since Soul Calibur 3.
Two?
Was it 2?
Two had Link. and
no, I thought
Spawn.
I thought it was 3 that had Link and Spawn.
No, 3 had someone else.
And Heihachi from because Link was on the GameCube version, Spawn was on the Xbox version.
Heihachi was on PS2.
Yeah.
I pressed Y.
You didn't press it in time. She's super dead.
I think that was actually the cutscene that I failed and got so fed up with it that I dropped the controller and didn't come back to it for months. I didn't. I think it was that. I remember there were rocks falling, and I was done.
Prior to starting the podcast, we just fell down a hole, and that was it. So it was pretty much the beginning of the game.
I was.
Oh man, he's dead.
I've never seen a game beat up a woman this much more. It's like if Bing Crosby made a game.
Crosby?
Oh.
No, Crosby. Bing Crosby. Is it Cosby or Crosby?
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby.
A very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Topical
podcast.
That animation is not very good.
Yeah.
Came out 5 years ago. Leave it alone.
No.
Anyway, Geralt.
Pick on whatever I want.
Geralt added to this is probably better than adding him to something like Tekken
or Smash Bros. Can you imagine Geralt in Smash Bros?
No, not really.
Well, I mean, they added Snake.
But I couldn't imagine Snake in Smash Bros. Either.
I mean, he didn't fit at all.
No,
he had a couple of funny moments in the story.
I don't think Geralt fits in Soul Calibur either.
No, although he fits Soul Calibur better than I agree with Andrew. He would fit it better than he would Street Fighter, for example.
Yeah.
At least Soul Calibur is not a it doesn't pretend to be a martial arts video game that's not about martial arts. At least Soul Calibur's like, yeah, we just have people beating the shit out of each other with weapons.
Yeah. And you know what? It's more Geralt, so cool, I guess.
Do you think this is the last video game Geralt's ever going to appear in?
No.
Like, this is the last one?
No, absolutely not.
How funny would that be? Just dashing all your dreams and hopes.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool to add to a Soul Calibur game, though?
What?
One of the guys from any of the characters, and I don't know any of them, but from World of Warcraft or something like that. Like, those are characters that would do really well. Like, those kind of cartoonish, over-the-top type characters, as opposed to really serious characters like Geralt. Like, another franchise that would do well in Soul Calibur would be anybody from Warhammer, really. Like, just somebody super over-the-top.
Here's the thing, though. The characters in Soul Calibur, and what I'm going to say sounds really dumb, but you got to look at it in a certain way because it's the way Soul Calibur looks at it. Soul Calibur isn't really a fantasy game. Right?
Okay, go on. Continue. After that
it's got fantastical elements, but the characters in the game are realistic to that world. If you start bringing in orcs and elves, it's no longer Soul Calibur.
No, I don't mean orcs and elves, but I mean like, you could bring in like Chaos Space Marines, for example, and they would look at tone it down a little, but they would look in place with some of with what's the name of the big bad guy?
Yes,
Dark
but
Side.
You got to explain how they're in the universe.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously. Well, then stop adding characters. I mean. For franchise,
Geralt goes through a portal. That's how he's in this. Spawn
Nightmare?
gets sent through hell. That's how he's in the game. Link gets sent through time or something in a portal through Hyrule. I guess there could be some sort of time warp in Warhammer.
Yeah, I mean that's a very easy thing that can happen. I mean, Chaos Powers should be like, "Hey, we want this sword for some reason." Anyway.
They try to explain in the lore why.
Yeah, so
they don't try.
They
do.
How does Darth Vader and Yoda end up in there? Because
see, that's weird. I guess they go through the Force.
It's just dumb anyway. Keep your characters out of it.
Hard cut to that scene.
Yeah.
Remember after Rogue One when Darth Vader just went through a portal?
Yeah.
And you can see
he goes out and
half-naked
looking at the
chicks
ship
beating each
that's
other
taken off, and he misses his step.
Yeah.
And then he lands right in that.
Shot for
fight!
the Unreal
Space
Tournament
Nightmare.
portal or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was the name, Nightmare.
It was, yeah. I'm amazed that I remember it actually.
I mean, I like Soul Calibur. It's a lot easier to pick up than Tekken, which genuinely I don't like as a game. I'm not gonna say it's bad.
Too bad there's nobody here to defend Tekken.
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just don't like it
shit.
because it's a very hard game for beginners.
That's a unanimous
Even that
agreement.
story mode, that's like, oh, it's supposed to ease you into the game. All it does is give you an easy button that is not available in actual fights. It's not like they're slowly teaching you how to play the game. It's more like, here's the game, and if you find it too hard, here's an easy button that won't be available in competitive mode. Okay, thanks.
Oh yeah, you gotta hit X.
Yeah. Jesus.
Hey Sandy.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Do you enjoy a game of Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Again, everything is so weird when you say it. It's like you're not like this.
It's the central.
If you go back and watch like episode 1 of the podcast, Andrew's exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'm the same in real life too.
No, you're not.
Yeah, in real life, I have crippling social anxiety. And in this, I can just pretend I don't exist.
Hey! I thought you said you pretend when you were out with us.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I played the beta. I enjoyed the beta. I really don't like how the beta is still sitting in my PlayStation library, though.
Mm.
You can probably delete it.
I'd love for you to show me how.
So you don't own the game?
No.
Well, why not? Why do you not own the game?
It was really expensive at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody I know really has it.
Did the loot boxes and microtransactions keep you away?
A little bit, but not...
Well, not anymore.
Definitely not the final straw. Oh, good.
I mean, technically, the game didn't have loot boxes when it officially launched. So it's never had loot boxes.
Did you want me to just say yes?
Yes, but it's always been shit. Hey, but not anymore.
There it is.
Hey, go ahead.
Because Star Wars.
It's as if he's remembering something.
Because
can you imagine him trying to
boxes
give?
you
Oh
can pay
man,
for,
I
I
left
should
the
say.
oven on.
Can you imagine him trying to give that talk to Luke in the beginning of episode 4, where it's like, "You fought in the Clone Wars." Clone War?
Come on.
I'm not like that.
I fought in the Clone War.
I think you're greatly misrepresenting your friend. Hey.
So they're bringing microtransactions. They're from what I've read to move this along. It's they're taking out the loot box system from the game, but they're bringing back in, or they're saying the loot box system is not getting added at all.
So now they're cosmetics. No more loot boxes.
From what? Okay, go ahead.
From what I've read, there aren't any loot boxes anymore. You can just pay for cosmetic items.
I think the loot boxes are staying, but you can, as is with the current system, you can only earn them through gameplay. None of the gameplay impacting items can be bought.
I thought I read that they were taking them out altogether.
No, they're keeping the star cards and stuff, but you can only earn them by playing the game. You can't buy them. The stuff, the microtransactions they're adding back in are cosmetics.
Yeah.
So
There's something I thought that the base game lacked. Like, I remember playing through and being like, "This is like, where are the cosmetics?" Because it's such a thing in games now where there's microtransactions versus cosmetics. It was very noticeably absent. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it was noticeably absent. So it's interesting that they're bringing it back in.
Remember when that EA rep came out and was like, "Well, we can't add cosmetic microtransactions because there would be there's no such thing as Pink Darth Vader in the lore."
you call me April, Pink Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Touche, but also you're having a bunch of people fight each other that never fought each other.
Yeah, I mean, like, multiplayer has never been canon in most games, so like that's why in Call of Duty World War II, you can have a black woman in an SS uniform. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's just really dumb.
But at the same time, it's multiplayer, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, remember when Luke killed Darth Maul? That was fun.
There are also
I feel like if the game gives you a chance to respawn, then reason is out the window.
Yeah.
I mean, you could keep it within the realm of like canon, but when you can have different heroes from different generations, like Luke versus Darth Maul or Rey versus Darth Maul, it doesn't make sense.
Anakin versus Darth Vader.
So, cosmetics are fine. If the cosmetics
That's
are
just
new,
a metaphor for the internal battle that he fought for so many decades.
it was just some spiritual figure. Didn't they release a video or someone hacked the game or data mined it or something, and they found that there were different variants of different people already?
Yeah.
So
battle damage, Darth Vader.
I assume they'll add more stuff on top of that, because I think that was just like armor variants for troopers that I saw. So if they add new cosmetic items to the game, I can see it being
1080i.
I can see it being. I mean, fucking interlaced. I'm kind of fine with it if it's new stuff, because otherwise this new content wouldn't exist. Like it's content they wouldn't have made if they weren't doing a microtransaction system. So in this case, it will be like microtransactions and cosmetic content, or no content and no microtransactions. So it'd be better to have content and no microtransactions, but I'm kind of fine with it the way it is, I guess.
Yeah, but I feel like that's, we're saying...
Comparatively, this is good.
Yeah, comparatively, yeah.
Yes. At the same, I agree with you, Aaron. I wish that we lived in a world where we didn't have to choose between microtransactions and new content. I wish that they could just produce new content for us, and charge even DLC price for it.
Charge a reasonable amount of money.
Yeah, I would prefer. Well, I don't know. It's difficult because I've heard really good arguments for like, don't if you put out DLC map packs and everyone's going to have that, and that's tearing off the multiplayer. So it's actually better if you don't charge any money for these new map packs and
then charge for other things, but not microtransactions.
What? Not microtransactions?
Yeah, figure out a better way to do it.
Well, I don't
have the answer, but there's a better way to do it.
I don't like microtransactions, but I prefer microtransactions to loot boxes because at least you know what you're getting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's worth clarifying that microtransactions could also be loot boxes, but they did say that you'll be able to earn the cosmetic items with in-game like credits.
Yeah.
So it's not straight. It's not everything isn't behind a paywall with this.
Also, I'm not 100% convinced that anyway. Like, we don't have to get into this conversation. But...
No, I know where you're going. I'm not convinced either. And we got a bunch of journalists jumping on board like, suddenly Battlefront 2 has the best system ever. And here, like 3 months ago, they were like shitting their clothes in rage.
I don't know why you made him sound like an 1890s British explorer. Like, oh, Battlefront 2 is certainly shaping up to be one of those rapscallion games. Meanwhile, let's divide Africa into small territories and
That's
fuck
exactly
the
what it
natives.
sounds like.
You almost seem just doing on monocle.
A dry mouth or something?
No, we're smoking on a pipe, Aaron.
I don't have the eyes in the back of my head turned on.
You can't see it because your monocle isn't in shot.
I just tried to make them sound as retarded as possible because they're journalists, and chances are they're retarded.
Oh, I thought you meant us.
Oh, no.
It's like, well,
we're also retarded journalists, yeah.
Hey, did you know that there are rumors abound that Splinter Cell 2018 may be coming? Or a Splinter Cell this year?
Interesting. What was the last Splinter Cell? Was that Blacklist?
Blacklist.
That was a good game.
It was really good.
I liked Conviction a bit more, actually.
Yeah?
Which one was Conviction? Was that
the one before it?
Was that the one that was like more of a third-person shooter than a stealth game?
It was more action-y than the others.
Definitely.
It had a simplified stealth mechanic.
In Conviction, you had to kill people. In Blacklist and Chaos Theory,
Conviction's the one that begins with you're in home and you're comforting your daughter, and then two guys break in. You're like, ho 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 ho.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't
I'm
begin
about to have my way with you.
It doesn't begin with that, but yes.
Let's see. You ruined a lot of the meat on that thing.
By
shoving arrows up its ass.
Oh, I know.
What I really liked about and now that I say it comes out as a bit minor. No, Conviction. When you were in stealth, everything would go black and white, and it was nice and clear. Because that little light on the back of your shoulder always bothered me.
Yeah.
Super stealthy, except there's somebody left a computer on in the corner. There's no computers in that side of the room.
But I mean, you got lights on your night vision goggles anyway.
Freddie Wong and Rocket Jump did a really excellent series or short where they dress up as Sam Fisher, and he's following the guard down a hallway, and the guard every time the guard passes under fluorescent light, he stops and takes out the sound pistol. The guard keeps going. the racket as all the glass collapses down. The guard doesn't stop, and then Sam Fisher makes kicks a can a little bit. And the guy's like, "What? Who was there? What's that? What's going on?"
Anyway, I love Splinter Cell.
Yeah, I don't really know. The problem with Splinter Cell is because I haven't played. I played Double Agent. That was great. I played Convictions. That
Which
was great.
Double Agent did you play?
The Xbox 360 version.
Okay, because there was an original Xbox version as well, which was made by the Chaos Theory team. And it was a completely different game.
Oh, well, I didn't play that one. I played the 360 version.
Yeah, that was made by Ubisoft Shanghai. Double Agent is.
Yeah, right. And they had the mission in Shanghai, right?
Yes,
that was cool. I like that.
That was the game that began in Russia, correct? We were infiltrating a base. I played that one. I played Conviction, and I think I played I didn't beat Blacklist, but I did play it. I thought all three were good games. I didn't play any of the earlier ones, so I don't really know the overarching story. I was mainly in it for the gameplay.
Mm-hmm. There's not really an overarching story,
but it's third echelon, man.
Yes,
the story of third echelon.
I guess, yeah, but it's not really prominent.
I want a game where they take all Tom Clancy's stuff, because Splinter Cell. No. And I want them to put them together, so I want them to be
I still think N-War could have been a gem.
But it wasn't. It could have been, but it wasn't.
The promise of it is so cool.
Yeah, but then you're spending the whole game going, infantry to B5. Infantry to B5.
Well, I mean, you don't need to use the voice commands.
Then why make the game then?
Because that was just a gimmick.
Fucking RTS and
Tom
Clancy
it wasn't, because they were trying to bring an RTS to consoles. They were trying to get around the limited controller, so they thought, voice control, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, well, to try and help you multitask a bit with 5 buttons.
Anyway, what do you think? If there is a Splinter Cell coming this year, do you think it will follow the recent Tom Clancy
kind of open world multiplayer?
Yes.
That'd be cool.
I hope it would be cool. If they're going to go that route, I wouldn't want to play as Sam Fisher.
No, I would imagine Sam Fisher is the new head of
fourth echelon.
Yeah, I think it's fourth echelon in Blacklist.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
That will be
He's 56 in Blacklist, by the way.
Jesus.
Wow. I would the problem is that stealth, because the Sam Fisher games have some of the greatest stealth mechanics I've ever seen. Very in-depth tools. The AI is great. I'm not 100% sure you can implement stealth mechanics like that in a multiplayer game, because you need to certainly not one where any random person can show up, because Splinter Cell is a game that doesn't it gets hard if you're not invisible. It's not like Ghost Recon Wildlands, where if you fuck up, you can survive a firefight. In Splinter Cell, you really don't want to get into a fair fight. You want to stay as hidden as long as possible.
Well, the co-op in the past games was really good.
Really good. That's what sold it on me.
But it's local co-op, isn't it?
Not in no.
But okay. Well, what I mean, I didn't mean local co-op. I mean, it's not drop in and drop out. Like Wildlands and the Division is drop in, drop out.
Yes.
You can't have that in this kind of game. So if they're going to do it, and I think they're going to have to retool a lot of their stealth mechanics in order to accomplish a 2 or 3 or 4 person multiplayer. I think they would go with a 4 person.
That'd be funny.
Person.
In the middle of a big thing, like, I gotta go. We're like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sink the shot. Oh, gotta go.
I think it would be cool though if, like, at the beginning you make a character, you make a new Splinter Cell agent. Yeah. And MGS proved that stealth can work in an open world. Yeah. I hope I'd be interested to see a Splinter Cell game that takes place in an open world that follows Metal Gear Solid's general design aspect, because I contest to this day that Metal Gear Solid 5 is one of the best designed games ever made in terms of gameplay and sandbox. Absolutely fantastic. Better than any of in terms of pure gameplay, it was better than any of the other Metal Gear Solid games by a long shot, and better than most other games. Story-wise, well, blame Konami for that one. I really liked the story in 5.
It wasn't finished.
No, it wasn't finished. It's still really good, though.
Yeah, it was good right until the fact that it wasn't finished, although it does have some major flaws.
Did you finish it after?
No,
you just watched the ending on YouTube.
No, I beat the main story, but I haven't...
You finished Chapter 1. You didn't finish Chapter 2.
No, I beat the main story. Like, I fought...
Sahelanthropus.
Yeah, and who I forget the name of the Liquid. I fought Liquid and the Psychomantis and Sahelanthropus on the rig, and then you have to go and rescue them out in the wild, and then Quiet fucks off. Like, I did all that.
Okay.
But I don't think I played all the side missions. There's a couple of because there's one side mission.
Did you get the truth mission?
Is that the
It's the one where you go back through the very first mission of the game.
Yes.
And it's like not a dream sequence.
Yeah. Yeah. I did.
Okay. So you did beat the game.
Okay, yeah. Do you have to beat all the side missions for that?
No.
Okay.
No, you just gotta beat all the gold colored missions in your list.
I did all them. I didn't do because I think there's like one mission in Afghanistan where you have to blow up a bunch of vehicles like heading towards different villages.
Yeah. And
it's fucking impossible.
So what did you think of the twist?
Or
did you know the twist before you went in?
No, I didn't know the twist. It was amazing. But we can probably talk about this later.
Yeah.
So getting back to Splinter Cell, I would like to see an open world Splinter Cell game. Maybe with less focus on the plethora of toys you could have, and more focus on impressive AI, like make like a more robust AI. Because that's where I always thought that Splinter Cell was better than MGS.
AI perks, cosmetic AI perks.
There you go.
That you can buy.
That would be cool. Rather than perks that you use or cosmetic changes that you can use, what would change the world around you and what would change your enemies? Almost like you could purchase mod packs and things.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd also like to see... what would I like to see? I would like to see a... And I know they're made by different studios, but it would be interesting to see, if not an open world, then a setup similar to...
Blacklist?
No, the Hitman games.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's at least the latest one, which is, I think, just called
Episodic?
Hitman. Kind of, but each level is
mini
more...
open world.
Yeah, so like a mini... like an expanded sandbox. So instead of being like this big open world where there's a lot of like really cool areas and a lot of just driving around, it's... Here's this massive map. Well, not massive, but here's this like big map.
Yeah.
And it's been really intricately designed and built, so you have a lot of really interesting ways to reach your objective.
I think that would be the ideal way to do a new Splinter Cell game.
Yeah.
Just a series of missions like that. And on top of that, you throw in 4-player co-op, potentially.
Jesus, he ate shit.
And that would be...
I think that would work better than a single like linear story mission. Like, I don't think you could do linear gameplay with 4-player co-op in that game. It's not big enough. But like or maybe you could even have like not even, I don't know if competitive is the right word, but and I don't know if you could have like a main story for like put it in the main story. But it'd be cool to have like competitive multiplayer, but instead of directly attacking each other,
big gust of wind came
you're
in.
going after the same target, and whoever gets him first.
I like the way Conviction did it, because one of you played as an American and one of you played as a Russian.
Yeah.
And at the very end of the game, you get a call from your agent or whatever, your handler. And it's like you gotta kill your partner.
I got a confession to make.
Yeah.
I'm still fucking sour about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I played through it with my buddy, and I lost that last level, and I am still so upset about it.
Yeah. You can't just replay that last level?
No, he won. I lost. And I'm a sore loser.
The story's finished.
Oh. Yeah,
you can't go back.
I thought it was like an achievement or something associated with it.
Was the Russian version the non-canon, I'm assuming? If the Russian guy lives?
I don't think there was...
It was totally its own story.
Oh, right. I forgot that was his own thing.
Because that's what I was thinking was cool, was that the Conviction, what I really liked about the co-op was it wasn't just, hey, it's the first player campaign, but you're going to go through and you've got this second character that we've shoehorned in there. It was totally its own thing, and it kind of went parallel with the main storyline, so if you played the main storyline, it actually made sense. Yeah. And he's like, oh, well, this kind of explains how that kind of lined up in this way.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would say that's a really good way of doing it. But if...
At the same time, though,
that's a lot of effort for something people may not even see in this game. So I'm thinking if they bring out a new one now, and they do what we said about, having Sam Fisher be just taking over the place of Lambert from the past games, and then you just play as your created character.
Yeah.
You could have that co-op story be the main focus of the whole game instead of a side thing that people may not even see.
Yeah. Now, there's a caveat to that. If they're going to do the 4-player cooperative thing, don't... And Ubisoft, I know it's you, but, you really do have to... you could have just cut the rope, Laura. Jesus Christ, you ruined... Our net! Somebody burned our net! You could have... You can't front load the fucking thing with boatloads and boatloads and boatloads of microtransactions and for like cosmetic items and stuff, or even
that's the thing too. If you get to make a character,
there's
going to be so many microtransactions.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
I mean, will there be though?
Yeah. Yes, because
look at Wildlands and the
Wildlands
Division.
had 1,000 microtransactions.
There's so many microtransactions.
Where?
For cosmetics.
For cosmetics, for character cosmetics, you can sign in and get it from the store. There's a few weapons you can get from the store.
And in fact, Wildlands is a particularly big offender because when you go, you can't buy... So if you want let's say you wanted to get the Predator pack that has a bunch of different cosmetic items and weapons, which is what I wanted, you couldn't get the... you can't just go in and get... and pay like for this pack with money. You have to buy like the Ubisoft like points or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you have the
Uplay points.
Yeah. And so the Predator pack costs, let's say, 2,500 Uplay points, which is not an amount you can buy. You can either get 1,900 Uplay points for $20 or 3,000 Uplay points for $30 or something like that. That's for example. So you always have either too little or too much, so you have to keep buying more. It's actually really insidious, and it's a big piss off because I calculated it. The cost of that cosmetic DLC pack that came with like a couple of shirts, the Predator helmet, an M16, and some face paint is like $25.
Yeah,
I paid more. That's around what I paid for Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
Assassin's Creed Origins is a lot like that as well.
Yeah, but that's the problem with Ubisoft is they're probably the worst offenders when it comes to.
But the only cosmetic items in the game, or the only things that you can buy is that actually are different content than what's already in the game, is stuff from like other properties, like the Predator pack or like the Division pack or something. Like, but it's not stuff that's in the game as is. And the other stuff you buy is gun skins, and it's not for guns that you can't get. Like,
but there are guns that you have to buy via DLC packs.
They must have added that since I finished playing.
They might have done it, but there's now because one of the big ones.
There are loot boxes in Wildlands now too.
Yeah, but they didn't. As far it's probably the same as the Division. In the Division, the loot boxes are primarily just so that you can get content without spending money. Because there's content, there's like patterns and stuff or gun skins and clothing skins that you can get. And then if you get a certain amount of, I think it's like cipher keys or something, which you can get pretty regularly if you defeat higher level bosses, then when you get 10 of those, you can get a loot box, and then you get 3 items. So like you can get cosmetic items without actually having to spend any money. I assume that's how it works in Wildlands, but maybe not.
I don't know. I just know that in both games there's a shit ton of microtransactions for cosmetics. Similar.
I didn't find it intrusive in either game.
It's not intrusive, but they're there, and because it's being developed by Ubisoft, it's going to be there for this game, for Splinter Cell, regardless if it's going to be single player, multiplayer, competitive multiplayer, whatever, because that's just what they do now. I mean, look at Rayman Origins. Rayman Origins had more fucking skin. Microtransaction skins than I've ever seen in a game. And it's Rayman.
Yeah. Yep. The industry has gone down
but they've done a good job, like, as shitty as it is, they've done a good job with keeping it cosmetic. it doesn't influence the gameplay at all. Really.
Yeah, I'm gonna side with Aaron on that. Like the microtransactions in Wildlands actually didn't bother me. No, because I've been playing through the whole thing, and it doesn't feel like I'm getting half a game out of it.
Well, yeah, definitely not.
No, and I will say, Ubisoft is better when it comes to that as opposed to what's a really big offender for that.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Star Wars Battlefront 2, where I feel like I'm not getting
in principle when it launched, yeah.
But also Star Wars Battlefront 2 has just some bad design in it anyway. But the Jesus Christ, that's frightening. The back is hilarious. Oh,
there's your thumbnail.
Yeah. I don't even know. It's weird. It's trippy. I can't even, I've completely lost my train of thought here. So I guess we should probably wrap up on Splinter Cell and kind of move on to the next topic. But it is...
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah.
You like movies. How do you feel about the Tomb Raider movies?
I enjoyed Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie.
That's the one.
Whenever you pause, I imagine the PlayStation disc noise. Like,
I enjoyed the first one with Angelina Jolie. I didn't like the second one.
Cradle of Life?
Yeah.
Was the Cradle of Life the one with the big robot in it? Or was it the first one?
No,
I think that was the
big
first
stone
one.
man?
No, there was in the second one, I think they had, Simon was his name. He was just like a big training robot that beat the shit out of
no, that was the first one.
I didn't like that at all.
Oh.
I didn't like those movies at all. I hated them.
I thought they were fun. They were good movies, but they were fun. Well, the first one was.
I thought they were products of their time.
Yes.
And now, I will admit, I haven't seen them since they've come out.
Also, Jolie was a great pick for Lara.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
You shut your whore mouth at him.
No.
Send it to him.
It's fine. You can both be wrong. That's all right.
Anyway, this new one came out, and it's getting...
reviews.
It's getting, reviews. Apparently, according to this, that Rory added half good, half bad reception.
That's been the general consensus I've got, is that people either... It's not even like we love it, or like 50% love to 50% hate it. It's more just like, meh.
Yeah.
I got the sense that it was basically this game put into a movie.
Yeah. With some elements from the second game, because I think I forget what
they got the longer storyline.
Yeah.
Going in it.
Because I think they only retroactively brought in what was the Trinity?
Trinity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Does this guy betray you or
I don't think he does.
No, he just eats shit later on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I felt actually playing this. I had the moment where I was like, "Wow, this story would actually make a really good movie." But at the same time, I thought, "But it doesn't have to make a good movie because it's done well enough in this that I'm getting that sense of a story from it."
Yeah.
This is by far the most cinematic Tomb Raider released when this came out.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, so is the movie just going to be literally this?
Yeah.
And no, it's not, and it sounds like it suffered because of it.
Yeah.
Because they added in this dad plot, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Like in this game, it's like, oh, the whole dad thing is sort of, it's much more in the background. It's not nearly as prominent as it seems to be in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Lara is doing anything for herself in the movie, at least based on the trailers.
Yeah, she seems to just be following her dad's quest.
Yeah.
And I suppose in this, it's like, oh, her dad was looking for this island as well. But it's not like she finds a secret message from her dad. It's like, I know where the island is already. Go to these coordinates.
It's more like my dad was infiltrating this island. Maybe he went there. Oh shit! I found it.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And then
in this, I think Lara takes it, onto herself to start researching this again.
Yeah,
it's not
she's a much stronger character when she's not literally following orders from her father.
Yeah.
What was the this is the game that had the Japanese only in it, right? They were the Eternal Wars.
That racist face mask, yeah.
What?
The one that we just found, that mask.
Yes.
The big stone guys.
Yeah, they were awesome. They weren't stone though. They were warriors.
Yeah,
the Thunder Warriors.
But they pretty much wore rocks as armor.
Yeah, they were cool. I remember the first scene when you kind of encounter them, where you're fighting these raider dudes, and you just see him in the distance, like, running away screaming. You're like, oh my god, what the hell's going on there? And then, like, you get captured, and it's like...
But you see one dragging a raider.
Yeah, and he's, like, the big, massive one. Yeah. You're like, oh, fuck. That was such a great moment. That's one of the few moments I remember. Like, not that this game isn't memorable, that's, like, one of the best moments in this game.
That's right after Lara gets thrown into the big pool of blood.
Yeah.
And she comes out, like, in the...
It was, like, Platoon, where she's like...
No, it was that movie about a cave. The
Cave?
It wasn't called The Cave.
The Descent?
The Descent, thank you. There's a scene in The Descent where a girl rises out of a pool of blood. It's a complete homage to that movie.
I didn't like that movie.
No?
And now I might be confusing them, because there's The Cave and then there's The Descent, and they're both similar
So The Descent is an all-female cast. I don't know about The Cave.
It's The Cave that I've seen then, because The Cave was about like I don't know, not monsters, but like fucking cannibals underneath the catacombs of Paris or something.
Yeah, no, I think The Descent is about cannibals, but in a cave not under Paris.
I can't remember. Anyway. Is that the one where somebody gets raped at the end? Or am I thinking... No, that's The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
That was an awful movie. That's such a dark, dour movie. Anyway, moving on. I will say I do like the idea of Alicia Vikander as Laura. It is Alicia Vikander doing it. Yeah. I think she looks enough like this version of Laura. Where I think
sure, and she's a good
actress.
In
the same way that they picked Angelina Jolie for the earlier generation Tomb Raider.
Although Angelina Jolie worked more because she was playing the old polygonal Lara from the PS1 era.
So a lot more gaps to fill in.
Yeah, it's like you saw Angelina Jolie, and it's like, okay, I have really nothing to go on here, so sure, she looks exactly like her. But Alicia doesn't...
I think it's Alicia.
Or whatever her name is.
Well, I'm sure
if we meet her, we'll apologize.
I'm sure Roy's going to correct you, so I'm just doing it now to save him the trouble.
Woman what plays Lara is like... This is Lara, or if you're playing the definitive edition, it's like, okay, another person is playing Lara.
The problem is, there's already a real...
This is a great moment.
There's already... Oh, man.
In the
What, you missed the first shot? The problem is, there's already an actress who plays this Lara and looks just like her. And she is like a screen actor as well, so why not just use her?
Because she's not as big of a
I was going to say the name drop.
But it doesn't matter. I don't like... You would see that the movie came out now and it's mixed reviews. You don't need an Oscar winner, Alicia Vikander.
You have no bullets left, Lara. It's Camilla Luddington.
Oh, he's still alive? What? He took that like a champ.
Camilla Luddington plays?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
So...
Her voice, not her.
Well, I mean,
I was gonna
she
say,
looks
I didn't
a lot
think...
like her. She looks a lot like her.
Yeah.
She got Amy Schumer to do it.
Anyway, it didn't make sense to me that you have an actress that does her voice and is pretty close to her in appearance, and then you get Alicia Vikander to do it. And I love Alicia Vikander; she's a great actress. I just don't think she looks like Lara enough.
Or just make a CG movie, like super CG, and don't have it based off a game. Have it be a side story to the games, and just make it really good. And then it could live on its own
thing.
It should have been a side story.
Beowulf.
Except if you go back and watch Beowulf, it looks like dog shit now.
Yeah.
We don't need origin stories.
I went back and rewatched The Scorpion King.
Oh yeah,
that's a pretty decent action movie.
With dog shit CG.
Like an action adventure movie.
You know what doesn't look so good? The Scorpion King in the movie.
Oh god, that might be the worst CG I've ever seen on a major Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Anyway, the new Tomb Raider.
See it. Oh Jesus.
The Shadow of the Tomb Raider coming out on all platforms means no timed exclusive.
My Nokia N-Gage is finally getting a new game.
It's coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC September 14th.
Isn't that a Game Boy that's full of phone? You can also use it as a phone.
So it's a phone.
You want to see the clown of video games? Do you remember that? That's a series that does not hold up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the jokes are lost.
Hey, Adam.
What?
Are you a ladies' man?
I am, but I want to get back to this Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Oh.
Is that the follow-up to Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Yes.
Tomb Raider? I'm so excited for that game, because Rise of the Tomb Raider was one of my very favorite titles ever. Especially, it's one of the... For me, it's up there with The Witcher 3 and Fallout 4 and
I thought you didn't like
Titanfall.
Witcher 3.
I do like Witcher 3.
Oh.
I had to stop playing it because it was like my third open world game in a row, and I just had to put it down so I didn't hate it.
What's different about Rise of than this game?
No, but what I'm saying is...
Worldy?
No. What I'm saying is it's one of my favorite games for this generation of console. Like if you had to make a list of the must-have games for this generation of console, Rise of the Tomb Raider is on it, as is Witcher and Fallout 4 and Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Absolute must-haves.
If you remember, Tomb Raider
Metal Gear 5.
whatever year this came out,
13
was not on Xbox One, PS4. That's it. This is an Xbox 360 and PS3 game.
Yeah, and this is one of the better games for that generation of consoles. But that's a harder. I think that's a harder. It's farther down the list because that generation was known for some of the best games ever. There was a lot of really great games that came out in the 7th generation of consoles.
Yeah.
So, because this is competing with BioShock Infinite and Fallout New Vegas
GTA 5.
and Halo 5 or Halo 3 and GTA 4. This is competing with some top tier games. Not that this isn't any good, because this game is fucking fantastic. But I do think that everything is just what made this game great is just stronger, a little bit stronger in Rise of the Tomb Raider. The story is better, just a little bit better.
You like the story more in Rise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the story here is really good. I'm not saying that it isn't, but I will say that it's just a little bit stronger in Rise. The presentation is stronger in Rise. The animation is obviously much better in Rise. That's not a fault of this game, because this was really good when it came out. In fact, it still looks really good.
Can we hard cut back to the rocks falling and
the more open world nature of the game is much better. I think the more.
Can I argue with you on that one? Because I felt like in Rise of the Tomb Raider, I was retracing my steps a bunch of times.
See, I like that because it made me get very familiar with.
I have to pee so bad. I'm sorry.
It made me feel very familiar with the world, and because I'm a big fan of the Castlevania, Metroid games, where you have to backtrack on more of the map. And I thought that element was introduced very well in Rise of the Tomb Raider. But I can certainly understand why.
This game did it as well, but less so.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
It was less backtracking and more like you get to a spot and you're like, oh man, I can go that way, but I don't have the tool for it yet, so I'll have to come back. You know?
Yeah.
So
I think what would improve, and I certainly think you're correct if you don't like the backtracking as much. I'm not saying that's an invalid reason for liking this game more. I'm just saying I didn't find that a problem.
It makes it a problem when you're doing a 100% run because the maps, I don't know if there's the map system in this is awful.
Yeah.
It's utter dog shit. When you have this, it's not like an open world where I can
it's separate, distinct stages, isn't it?
Yeah, and then when there's a page here, and it's is it generally it's in a cave under a waterfall or something. And meanwhile, you end up at the top of a mountain on top of a house, and it's I don't see it. Where the hell is it? Yeah. So they really please Crystal Dynamics with the next game, make finding shit easier at the end of the game. Because it's a fucking pain in the ass. That makes backtracking a pain because you end up running around a level for 2 hours looking for one thing. God damn it.
I like this, and I like how they implemented it in the second game. I don't know, Rise of Tomb Raider is just... I don't know. There's just something about it. I don't know. I felt like everything worked there. I would love to see a Tomb Raider game that had the similar approach to Hitman, where it was instead of one big kind of world, it was a bunch of small sandboxes that you could approach from any angle, just to see how that would play.
How's that burning sensation?
You know that pleasure you get, is so relieving that your eyes go crossed. You mentioned movies. Or something. What? What's going on?
You're a fan of seducing women superbly.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me more.
I'm a master seductor.
But
I'm not a super seductor.
Oh.
Which is why...
you also are not on...
If I did want to become a super seducer, however, I might check out a little-known game, that some people know as Super Seducer.
The Life of the Black...
That might be your worst ever transition.
Thank you.
I think that transition is so weak, it's crying for its mom.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, Super Seducer is a game. I forget the guy's name. I'll look it up here now.
Are you calling, what's his name? Giovanni...
I don't know, but it totally derailed that little joke.
In Saving Private Ryan.
Ribisi.
His character in Saving Private Ryan, are you calling him weak? Because he cried for his mother as he died?
No, because he got shot to the gut by a German sniper.
And that makes him weak?
No! It means he got shot to the gut by a German...
Pride. Can't even get shot in the gut.
Are you dishonoring our...
First off, he was an American, so...
You don't have any American relatives?
No.
Oh.
All my relatives are Canadian or English.
But America saved England in World War II.
I mean, that's kind
and
of...
Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada and America saved England. I don't know. I
think Russia kind of saved our asses.
The Allies won the war,
Oh my God.
and that's what matters.
I mean, really, we wouldn't have won if it wasn't, or we wouldn't have won as quickly if it wasn't for Russia literally taking the entire German army, shrugging it off, and then giving them the old right hook.
Yeah, and look how they thank us.
You've got to be respectful for that friend who's willing to literally take it in the ass for you for
3 years?
2, 3, 4 years.
And then you come and you're like, oh, by the way, we're taking half of Germany. So, Super Seducer is a game by this guy called
You're gonna die again.
Richard
You're gonna die again.
And he's supposed to be this kind of like love guru, pickup artist kind of guy.
You're gonna die,
and he's made this kind of game
Fucking fire
for PlayStation 4, which is about...
Well, it's not for PS4, it's just a game.
Well, he's making a game. And
he's made the game.
It's a full motion video game, which is something you don't see very often anymore. But him going, like, he'll present you with a situation, like, right, you're walking down the street and you see this really, like, beautiful girl come up. What do you say to her? And it's like a multiple choice thing, and depending on what you choose, a little video will play out of him doing your choice, and the girl will either be like, ew, gross, or like, let's go get coffee, or I don't know, whatever happens in those videos, because they're not realistic of how women interact with.
They're not too far off.
I'm picturing like Red Alert cutscenes.
No, because George Takei's not in it, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, not Red Alert 3.
Is
like
Red Alert?
Old school
George Takei
Red
was
Alert.
in Red Alert 3.
I mean, I like Red Alert 3.
Yeah, he was the
I gotta play through that.
I don't even remember what the faction was, but like
the
Asian, the Japanese faction.
Yeah, they were awesome. They had transforming jets and everything.
They had like the samurai guys.
Yeah, they were awesome. And they got butt fucked in that campaign.
Anyway, it's not a very realistic game because you occasionally make the right decision.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Anyway, he's gotten a lot of negative feedback about this game because it's being taken off the PlayStation 4's network. I'm not sure why. I didn't read into that too much, but I also know that he filed a spurious DMC takedown of a guy's review of the game because the guy said it wasn't a very good game, and in my opinion, he was correct. And this guy, Richard Larunda, how would you?
Let's just call him Super Seducer.
Laruna.
Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
More like
it's not an awful
his
game.
career.
Sure, why not? We're not gonna meet him.
Whatever. So Richard had a fucking fit and
Richie. Richie Runa
spuriously took down this guy's video. It's just been put back up. He's apologized for it publicly, so at least he has more higher morals and scruples than other people who have done similar. But the fact that he reacted that way, it doesn't look good for his character, which is already he comes across a bit scummy because
he just pressed the wrong multiple choice button.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he presents himself as this like guru pickup artist who I already think are just like the lamest people ever. But this kind of activity doesn't make him it doesn't endear him to me anymore. And then, do you know why his game was kicked off PlayStation Network?
Are you asking me? Or?
I'm asking because I don't know.
Oh,
I think just because of the controversy around it, how it's deemed misogynistic.
Yeah, it is kind of a poor timing for that sense of a game. I think
Is
5
it?
or
What?
5 years ago,
Oh.
10 years ago especially, I think that game would have been very, very popular and people would have accepted it.
Remember the guy
But
game?
I don't think it would have been as...
When you saw some 17-year-old's tits and then they pulled the game off shelves because it's super illegal.
Who? What game?
The guy game.
Oh, yeah.
I think I vaguely remember a couple.
I don't remember what the hell you're talking about.
It was like a game show game. But if you got all the right answers, the girl, there'd be a video of a girl showing her boobs.
I don't remember that.
And one of the girls was 17, but she lied.
So apparently this is a review of the game. I used to be a 100-pound vegan neckbeard with no sex life. I thought posting pictures on Twitter of my best soy face or wearing pink hats and claiming to be a feminist would lure women to me. Wow, was I wrong. I learned the hard way that women are not just into men who publicly emasculate themselves. Lucky for me, I was able to discover this amazing instructional program from love guru Richard Laruna. Now I'm meeting beautiful women left and right, and my calls never stop. My cell never stops ringing. Thanks again, Mr. Laruna. At first I knew nothing, and now I know how to properly insult a girl for wanting to open a flower shop and accuse her of being called Charles. Perhaps the best game I've ever played, 10 out of 10. If you played this game, I personally picked the right answers, but the game may get boring fast. But if you pick the wrong answers, especially most ludicrous ones, the game shines, just like my forehead.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's fun picking the wrong answers.
Richard from Kingdom Come, but I do know now. Thank you, you amazing, beautiful seduction guru. Now I can trap girls into conversations they don't want to be in, just to have sex with them in a few weeks to come.
How is this any different than the 10 billion visual novels that are on Steam?
Because the visual novels are about anime women, and they cannot be held to the same standards as real-life women. They're more precious.
But they're portraying women.
It doesn't matter.
Are you saying that their presence doesn't matter, Adam?
I'm saying that the presence of anime women
Are you saying that
better.
these women exist for your pleasure and your pleasure alone?
No, I'm saying that animated women
fuck.
deserve our respect and admiration more with real women. What have real women ever done? Look at all the anime women. Anime women have fought gods and died, and they fought mechs and been raped. And I mean, Japanese culture's really done a lot for women in anime. I just want to put that out there. Fantastic.
I can't loot him.
You know,
Why is that dead?
You see a woman in anime, you're like 9 chances out of 10 you're getting out of the story and A-okay. Actually, it's most anime is just neutral to women, as is most things.
You're either gonna die or get naked.
But I mean, anime
two.
and actually consumers' culture in general has not been kind to women over the years. I don't know. It's just not the game for me, and I'm kind of, I really don't care about this fucking game.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Are you under the influence that because you're not into the game, should nobody be allowed to play it?
No.
So do you agree with Sony here?
No.
By pulling the game? For pulling the game?
No, but at the same time, it is their own service. I mean, if they want
It is, but you've got to understand that there are other games such as Life of Black Tiger, which is dog shit, first of all.
What is Life of Black Tiger, dog shit?
It's a really shitty game where you play as a black tiger.
It's like a simulator, and it's got weird racial overtones. Like
Isn't
a lot
there-
of weird racial overtones.
Isn't there a game on PS4 where it's called like Summer School or something, and you just tutor an anime girl in VR, and you can take her out, you can put her in different outfits and stuff and touch her?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that a PS4 game?
Yes.
Is that still on the PlayStation Store?
But Aaron, that's Japanese.
Oh yeah, so they get a pass. I forgot. Sorry. They get a pass because if it gets pulled, then it's racist.
Did I tell you about Wikipedia?
You're on Wikipedia?
Yeah, one of my articles I wrote for the Muse ended up being a source for...
Adam's a citation now.
Yeah, on Wikipedia, because they were talking about Sword Art Online, and they said down at the bottom, like, critical reception, like, these people all thought the game was really good. However, other reviewers have not been so kind, and blah, blah, blah. Adam Facey of the Muse was very critical of the game, calling it sexist, and...
Adam's a real journalist now.
Oh, you're a real journalist. That's a real boy. That's pretty good.
Does that make you want to kill yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
You can get a job at Kotaku now.
The fact that you're...
I'd love to have a
never
job
mind,
at
never
Kotaku.
mind. You're a real journalist. They don't hire
Probably
those.
mean I could, have a better paying job than I got now.
Then you can... Okay.
And it would mean I'm working in a field I enjoy. Don't like Kotaku too much, but hey.
Well, you're not going to get hired now.
Yeah, well, I would love. You know what I'd love to work for?
I'm going to put that right underneath the Wikipedia
Adam,
thing, but he doesn't like Kotaku.
You're one of the most liberal people I know. You're too conservative to work at Kotaku.
Am I? Do you count me as
yes.
liberal? Okay, good.
I want to hear what Adam thinks about cheese strings in a 45-page article about cheese strings.
I think that they're an overrated lunch snack, but if that's your thing, then
stop cutting to the chase.
Did you say cheese strings or G strings?
Cheese strings.
Okay.
I'm still not getting it.
Charlie or Gamma?
Charlie.
Okay.
They should make cheese strings G strings.
No.
Cheese
No.
strings.
Hard
the
no.
Smell. The smell.
What about cheese strings?
Yeah, there you go.
Or what about
chia strings?
What about just shoving a pair of plants into a children's lunch bag so he has to eat them?
Chia strings.
All right, honey, this is Mommy's G-string. I sold it last night. No, fucking idiot. But thank you. I always try to come across as being uniform in my worldview about things, although I am open to debates about stuff and having my worldview changed if I'm presented with a good argument.
That's such a liberal point of view. Actually, no, it's not. Hey!
It's a lot of bones.
No, it's not.
So...
It is.
You like the 100?
I know literally nothing about it.
Alright, so the Fallout 3 remake got cancelled.
Well, it's not a remake.
Due to legal reasons.
It's not a real remake. There was a mod, a group of people...
intentionally skipping past that one.
I was literally going to read it and then just go to the next thing.
Okay.
A group of modders were making...
Hey, you can do your thing too.
A group of modders were remaking Fallout 3 in the Fallout 4 engine. They were making decent progress. However, due to legal reasons, it's been cancelled.
For a second, I thought you went full Flanders instead of saying due to legal. I thought you said doodle-leedly.
Doodle-leedle.
So were they trying to make money off it? What's the legal reason?
No, the legal thing is that they can't use the sound files from Fallout 3.
I thought...
So a lot of the...
So just change the sounds.
What? That's how the... Fallout 4 remake, Fallout New Vegas remake is still a thing. Yeah. However, the people that were doing the Fallout 3 one was they decided it was not worth pursuing any further.
So why are they allowed to use all of the game assets and geometry?
They're remaking assets. They're not reusing any assets.
So why are they allowed to use the animation and coding?
Sorry, what?
Why are they allowed to use the game engine and the coding and all the animations and stuff? But
they're doing it in Fallout 4.
So they're remaking Fallout 3 in Fallout 4. That's what...
Yes. So they were building the Capital Wasteland and coding all the quests.
That's dumb. Why are they not allowed to do that?
Because the sound, the voice acting is all copyrighted for Fallout 3. So if you import that stuff, it's the same reason you can't import...
But it's into a property that's owned by the same people.
Well, not really. Like, Liam Neeson didn't give his permission to be in Fallout 4. Right?
No, but he gave his permission
He signed a contract with Fallout 3.
But he gave his permission to be in Fallout 3, and then Bethesda gave everybody collectively the permission to mod stuff in Fallout 3.
Yeah. So you can do what you want in Fallout 3, but you can't bring that stuff over into Fallout 4.
But so why are you allowed to...
You're overstepping your bounds?
Yeah, Liam Neeson might not give a shit, but his lawyers certainly do.
But so why are you allowed to put, like, Portal in Elder Scrolls and stuff?
Because you're not you're not ripping assets from Portal.
And if you are, then that's not legal.
Yeah, so there obviously are sites out there that host mods that contain ripped assets.
Well, man, today
but those aren't legal mods.
That's dumb. I feel like that's dumb. If you're making money on it, then yes, it's totally illegal. But if it's just like here, check out this thing I made using this thing and that thing, then I don't think it should matter. It's just you're just remixing somebody else's intellectual property, and as far as I'm concerned, that's Creative Commons. That's
if mixtapes are legal and fair play, why is this not legal and fair play?
Yeah, it seems dumb to me. Anyway,
I don't agree with it either, but that's the way it is. The way she be.
I can understand the legality of it, but I do think that like there should be some The problem is the law, when it comes to anything to do with video games or the internet, the law is always so lagging behind because this industry is moving faster than most other industries. Even other industries in entertainment, like movies and TV, that the law just can't keep up. I mean, a really good anything to do with the internet, the law is going to be lagging woefully behind. Like all the stuff about cryptocurrency, for example. The law has not caught up with cryptocurrency yet. So what's going to happen with that is not to bring that into the conversation, but as an example. So should there be some, should people take a harder look at these copyright laws for this sort of situation? Yes. Will they? Probably not, because nobody gives a shit about video games, and especially nobody gives a shit about modders, except for the video game industry.
I think if you say movies,
right?
Movies and shows and stuff fall into a different category because the media kind of is what it is. Like if you were to, I don't know, I guess if you were to like cut two movies together, I think people do that all the time, right?
What?
Like if you took footage from a show and like supercut it with another show, that's sort of the same concept, right? So, I mean, I think you can do that and put it on YouTube. Obviously, you can't put the full thing on YouTube because
again, YouTube is a very gray area now because nobody has really wanted to take a stab.
Yeah, no, my point is like you can do this sort of thing in other media and it's fine.
Not really though.
It's more like it's not that it's fine. It's that it's more like a precedent hasn't been set for it, so everyone's willing to kind of let it slide and be in this kind of limbo state because nobody really wants to take on a major court battle with YouTube and forever fuck the industry because a ruling took place. So right now, everyone's content to just let YouTube be what it is now.
I don't mean specifically YouTube though.
Is it also a difficulty of things like the internet going past countries' borders?
That's also another thing because I mean we've brought this up on different episodes of the podcast before, where there's been content released for a service that we've bought and paid for, but because that content is because of copyright laws, we're not able to get access to that content. So, like, Grand Tour is a perfect example. A lot of people bought, especially in Canada and in England, bought Amazon Prime just so they could watch Grand Tour, and I don't blame them. And that when the time came out to watch Grand Tour, it was only available in America for the first little bit, and that pissed a lot of people off. And I don't blame them because that's bullshit. You bought and paid for the service. It's Amazon's own intellectual property. Why is that not allowed on their own? It's their own intellectual property on their own platform service. Why am I getting hit by a copyright? Like a jurisdiction copyright issue. It shouldn't matter. It does, obviously, because the situation happened. But we should have a way around that sort of legal tomfoolery.
I already went in there, didn't I?
Yeah, that was really good.
I mean, if you have a legal copy of the game and the game fully supports mods anyway, I don't see why you can't then just do whatever you want.
Yeah. Now, could they work around that by just re-recording the voices?
Yeah, that's what the team remaking New Vegas are doing.
It's a lot of work, though.
It is, and I don't suspect it will see its completion because of it.
It takes a lot of money from what's probably not going to be a profitable endeavor.
Where does the copyright fall on modification? Because I think for a lot of visual stuff, I don't know if it's the same for audio. It's like 20% or something, or 10%.
What do you mean?
And that if they deem 20% of something has been changed from the original in its entirety,
I don't know.
It's no longer valid for a copyright claim.
But there's a way that Bethesda handles mods, and there's a way that I guess other things handle mods. And
because I
you
feel
own the mod when you make the mod. But
yeah, fair enough, I guess.
Because of that, Liam Neeson didn't give you permission to use his voice in your mod.
Is it legitimately a Liam Neeson thing?
I'm using Liam Neeson because he's a prolific voice actor in the third game, but same goes for all those voice actors. I think voice Fallout 3 characters.
Yeah, like obviously, let's take a look at let's say somebody tries to mod Fallout 4 into Fallout 5 whenever that comes out in 50 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, Matt Mercer is a big person in video. He loves video games, loves all that kind of stuff. He's a supporter of.
Who did he play in Fallout 4?
He played I forget the guy's name, the Ghoul Mayor.
Oh, Hancock?
Of Diamond City?
I think so.
He played Hancock?
Yeah, I think so. Let me double check that. But anyway, I forget who he played, but he was in the game. But at the same time,
what a useless character.
Hancock?
Yeah.
I liked Hancock.
Yeah, well, in my game, it's like, yeah, let's go, let's explore the world together. I'll wait for you outside. And then I never saw him again. That was it. He was always waiting next to that fence. Like, you ready to go? It's like, no, I got someone else. Fuck you. That was his whole character of my game.
Well, at least tell him to go back to Good Neighbor.
He's at Good Neighbor. He's just waiting on a fence. Oh. Every time I talk to him,
no, he voices McCready.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
So he's in Fallout 3 then as well? No, I guess he was younger when he was in Fallout 3.
You done fucking goofed.
Oh, yeah. Well, fucking
I'm sure Matt Mercer plays characters in Fallout 3.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he does, additional voices, because he does a lot of additional voices.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, as a creator, the loosest possible definition of that term, if I ever become a published author, I'm not 100% sure if, if I want somebody messing around with my copyright, but at the same time, I'm alright with fan fictions. So, is a fan...
About you?
What?
About you?
No, about my stories if I create. Let's say I'm George Lucas and I'm created Star Wars. And, I'd just be all right there with...
I think literature falls into a different category than games, though, because... you could just add... You could just add a character model to another game. That doesn't change the game. Right? If it's literature, the writing is what it is.
Yeah. But I can certainly see why Matt Mercer wouldn't want his voice in a product that he didn't sign on for, because, yes, they might just be modding Fallout 3, but they could be adding stuff in the game that he's not all right with.
Yeah, but I mean, that's no different than somebody drawing a picture of Matt Mercer sucking a dick.
I wish.
It's the same. It's the same thing. It's they're
yes,
not.
But you mentioned bringing in a new piece of armor or something. You're not changing that armor. If you take an asset, I guess, and you change the asset and bring it in, that's probably okay. But if you just straight up bring the asset over, I don't think that's
drag and drop.
I don't think it's legal.
I think
also that the people that made that asset for that specific game didn't give permission for that to be used in Fallout 4 or Fallout New Vegas.
But it's not like you're selling it, though.
Even if you're not selling it, it's not legal.
That seems really weird to me.
It is weird, but I think at this point we're just kind of going around in circles where we all believe it's weird, but it is what it is.
It is weird, Adam. I agree.
Do you think it would have, maybe if they're looking to re-release it at some point, that they're worried about it taking away from that profitability of that?
That's something else.
Full system release.
When this news came out, a lot of people suspected that a Fallout 3 remake might be around the corner, and this is a big reason because they are not going after any of the other remakes currently. So, like I mentioned, Fallout New Vegas remake.
They shut down the D&D or the pen and paper games as well, and they haven't done anything with that.
Yeah, the Oblivion and Skyrim's engine.
Yeah.
The Morrowind, the Skywind. Since Morrowind had very little voice acting anyway, I think they're safe because they're voicing all the characters in that. So I suspect that's fine. The Fallout New Vegas, as long as the team sticks to recording their own stuff, which is a ton of work.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a full circle. She just said that her daughter's name is Alicia. Oh man.
Shit.
Alicia?
That's not what she said, but she probably said her own daughter's name wrong.
Hey, we should probably get moving on.
That's what I was doing with the thing. I was leading the Skyrim thing.
Like
the Skyrim VR thing. I had a perfectly good
that's
segue.
That's way down the list. You gotta stick to the list, otherwise...
I segued halfway down. We can come back up the list.
We can't come back up the list.
That was a good segue.
It was so good that Andrew didn't even recognize it as a segue.
Fuck.
Man, you know what will be...
Skyrim?
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah.
You know what will be amazing?
Wow.
Another fully priced version of Skyrim.
You mean I can buy it a 9th time?
Yeah.
Like VR.
And it would be, I don't know, a VR version that's not exclusive to PlayStation anymore.
God. Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
How are we all still single, and how is Sandy?
You don't know my life.
He's got those pictures of Matt Mercer sucking dicks that he draws. Sorry, Matt. I had to tell you.
Hey, are you going to buy Skyrim VR when it comes out in April?
I'll buy it when it's on sale for like $5-10. That's it. Well, I don't get how the enhanced or special edition of Skyrim was free to people who already owned it.
Yeah.
But a like 180 kilobyte VR file is another $80.
It's because VR is a different enough experience that people that want to try it will pay the money.
Yeah, and I'm not doing it.
Same
with Fallout.
Has Skyrim been brought to more different fucking platforms than Resident Evil 4? Because I think Yachts described it best as Resident Evil 4 is the slut of the video game world.
I mean, is Skyrim the most profitable game that they've put out just because of how many times they've been able to release it?
It was the most profitable when it was only available on last gen consoles.
If you told Todd Howard that he could re-release Skyrim 7 years after it originally came out at $80, he'd have his dick worn down to a null. It'd be gone. They wouldn't be able to vacuum all of it up.
So I got a 7 out of 10 on Steam.
Anyone play Monster Hunter? Hey, remember Monster Hunter?
He is a big fan of Monster Hunter World.
Well,
Adam plays it, right?
I wouldn't call myself a big fan, but I do like the game.
Remember Monster Hunter, the paragon for how microtransactions should be handled in video games? Well, kill yourself, because Monster Hunter World, if you want to change your character...
Andrew,
if you want to change your appearance of your character, you got to pay money for the DLC. So, there you go.
Change appearance, redo will become
if
paid DLC.
If after you make your character at the beginning, if you want to change how they look afterwards, you got to pay money.
Okay, so Adam.
So in Grand Theft Auto, that's done with the in-game currency, $100,000 still, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but this costs real-world currency to do it.
Yep.
So hang on. Could you change your appearance before this?
No. After you first create your character, and you get in-game, and your character looks like 1,000% different than they did in Character Creator, and you're like, this looks friggin' awful. I want to go back and change my character. And you can't. Well, now there's an option. You just pay money for it.
So, can you use in-game currency?
No.
Or does it have to be...
It's paid DLC.
And is it one time only?
I don't know. I think it might be like a little expansion that you buy on PSN or whatever. I don't think it's a microtransaction per se. I think it's like a little...
So
thing.
Resident Evil, so Skyrim has only been ported 7 times. Resident Evil's been ported 12 times to the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, Microsoft Windows, Wii, Zeebo, whatever the fuck that is.
N-Gage.
The iOS, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Android, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. That's a lot. What the fuck is a Zeebo?
I'm sure Thomas has one.
Also, like the Xbox 360, one of the first pictures that come up is the fucking red ring.
Sweet.
I can't stand that either.
What?
When repetitive tasks that you do multiple times, any task really, but specifically the repetitive tasks that require button mashing or button holding. I can't.
Is it 3G
bothers me
enabled
so much.
Education
And that guy's walking around with a jerry can strapped to his back.
Hey, stop that.
You're going to die.
Apparently the Zeebo was supposed to be Brazil and Mexico's answer to the games market.
That came out.
What happened to the Steam box?
They came out.
That came out?
So the Steam box was never more than custom PCs that various companies released.
Okay.
You can buy a Steam Link, which some people call a Steambox.
Sibo's homepage still stated that the company was currently working on a next-generation Android-based platform for launch in 2012, but the product had not been released as of March 2014.
Keep working on it, boys.
We'll get there.
Also coming to Monster Hunter is the Devil May Cry thing. I have no idea what it is.
I don't care. I mean, I'm a little pissed off because I made a female character. Because Monster Hunter World has a really good character creation system. It's very in-depth. So I made a female character, and I modeled her after
You're
my
not
current...
a cat?
No. Oh. You get a cat companion. And
I
modeled her after my D&D character that I currently play in one of my campaigns.
So if you're a cat,
really
do you have a cat companion?
No, you can't be a cat, Aaron.
You can be a cat.
You can't.
You absolutely can.
You play as a race model after cats.
No, you can't. You can only be humans.
Look it up. In Monster Hunter World, you can be a cat.
Khajiit has wares.
I'm pretty sure you can
Anyway, all the female armor in that game is not as good looking as the male armor. Because it's not like...
That's sexist.
If you get, like, Shock Beetle armor, it's not just, like, Shock Beetle armor worn by both genders. The female Shock Beetle armor looks way different than the male Shock Beetle armor. And I think in, like, 99 cases out of 100, it looks, like, just worse. Just absolutely, like, objectively worse.
Is it, like, super tits? Super tit armor?
Well, a lot of them are, yeah.
Sorry, you said worse.
Yeah. The female armor looks worse.
But it's super tits?
But I hate that in games because my character I want to role play a character who's like a role play, but I want to play a character who comes across as a super, serious and kind of competent fighter. No fighter in the world, I don't care where you're from, is going to be wearing fucking high heels and a fucking bikini armor. That nobody. What?
Is there no melee button in this?
Hair.
The problem is you're trying to roleplay in a Japanese RPG.
Yeah, it's Japanese, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You really wanted to shove him, didn't you?
There's no melee. Like, I wanted to just punch him in the face, but...
There's no melee?
I couldn't find a button. Anyway. I mean, it doesn't surprise me being a Japanese game. Not that that's a slight at Japanese people or whatever, but there's a lot of very... obvious cultural differences from a societal standpoint where misogyny and all that shit seems to be like way more acceptable over there apparently from my experience.
Also just Japanese game design in general, especially in terms of RPGs. It's
maybe it should be a cat, maybe there's less boobage.
It's rare that a Japanese RPG lets you roleplay a character that you create. I'll say that. So
yeah, true enough.
When a game like Monster Hunter comes out, and it does, I mean that's probably a good thing, but you shouldn't have expectations of
that guy killed himself there
of grand roleplay possibilities like you would in a game like Baldur's Gate.
But what I mean is I can kind of tell my own story in my head. It's what I was able to do with Skyrim a lot of the time.
Right.
Is I filled up, and I obviously have to do a bit more with Monster Hunter. But it's a thing I hate in a lot of video games. Where the female armor is vastly different than the male armor, and I think another good example of this is in
it's pretty different in Skyrim.
It's not comparatively. Because female Imperial heavy armor, for example, in Skyrim looks very similar enough. It doesn't. What I'm trying to say is
you don't look at it and say those would be two distinct sets of armor. You can say, okay, this is two takes on the same type of armor, whereas you're saying. It looks like I'm getting two completely different sets of armor.
Yeah, well, the male version looks like, hey, let's design this cool, badass armor for the males, and for the females, it was like, let's design this sexy thing. And I'm like, maybe I don't want to play a sexy thing as a female. Maybe I want to have a badass option as well.
But why would any... Well, here's another thing. Japanese... most Japanese players are men, right? Japanese men don't want to play strong, independent woman.
Well, I mean, maybe they do. You don't know. But regardless, instead of having a male and female armor lock the gender, why not have a badass armor option and then a sexy armor option that can be worn by both genders? Maybe I want to play a guy character who goes around and drag.
Yeah, wear all that penis.
That'd be awesome. Why not do that?
I'd be curious to know what the opinion of the key demographic for that game is whether they want like turbo cosplay outfits or like actual armor.
The answer is yes, but I don't understand why you can't have both.
Yeah.
Why? Mass Effect is an example of this, where in the Citadel DLC they had this.
There's gas.
You gotta get out of there.
Fine.
In the Citadel DLC, when you end up I forget the name of the not the tournament, but the shooter arena that's in that game. It's like a. It's not like a. It's part
Armax.
Yeah, something. Whatever. It's like a wave based. It's like a single player version of the multiplayer.
It's like the Pinnacle DLC from the first game,
except not dog shit.
Yeah.
And an add-on to
Pinnacle Stations.
And an add-on to what was, in my opinion, the best DLC ever made.
Yeah.
But the in that game, when you beat that Aramax like station, when you beat all the challenges, you get a special armor that you can pick. It's a one-time only thing, and it's some of the better armor in the game. But the female version looks different than the male version. The male version looks like Kyle Lang's outfit. Kyle Lang? Is that his name? Kai Lang.
Kai Lang.
Which was a really awesome set of armor. So it has this really cool-looking helmet. The female version looks like the Phantoms from Cerberus, which I do not like. I don't like their design. I would rather play the Kyle Lang character, but my Shepherd is female. Why can't I have the option to choose one or the other? It pisses me off. It breaks my immersion. Not a big deal. I mean, Monster Hunter still... I still really like Monster Hunter, but it's definitely noticeable, and it definitely... It makes me... Because where before I was so interested in unlocking new armor, because, oh man, I get this new cool-looking armor set, and I'm like, every single one of these is awful. It's all awful. None of it's good. Well, not none of it, but there are some interesting armor models, but the males get way more and way better ones.
Well, it sounds like you're not buying the DLC.
Would you say that this ruined the game for you?
No, but it definitely is a bigger turnoff in this game, where in Mass Effect it didn't matter because I already had some interesting armors in that game, like the Blood Dragon armor, which was, in my opinion, one of the best armors ever designed. But, fuck, you killed him. In this game, one of the big things that keep me going is unlocking better gear. So I go out and hunt monsters and kill them and carve their bits up in order to get better gear. So I can see what the next gear is, like leveling up in an RPG. And the fact that a lot of the gear that I get is going to be not to my taste is very off-putting.
Are the swords 10 feet long?
There's kind of a reason for that. Because the monsters are so big, you're not fighting a very dexterous opponent. You're fighting these massive dinosaurs or dragons or whatever. They're not going to have as much opportunity to dodge you, so you're getting through their natural armor as opposed to trying to get a very nimble opponent. Still bullshit. It's still a stylistic thing, but it's
in lore. I kind of looked this up. In lore, the humans or the characters you play as are actually like super genetically enhanced and are capable of wielding swords that are massive.
I mean, that makes more sense than why Geralt needs 2 swords, but whatever.
What do you mean?
Why can't the monster sword kill humans?
It can. It's just not as...
But why? It's a sword.
It's mostly the other way around. That's why he has 2
I know,
swords. But
why not just have the monster sword then? Like, I get it looks cool, and it does, but, like, it would be different if, like, there's 2 different grand classifications of monster. One that gets damaged by silver weapons, one that gets damaged by, I don't know, like adamant weapons or cold iron weapons or whatever. But it's like, one is only used for monsters, one's used for humans. Like, but why can't, like, this fucking...
Actually, Adam, they're both for monsters.
Are they?
If you read the books.
Oh. Well, I haven't read the books. They're on the list, though.
No, the thing is that the sword for humans is to kill human monsters.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. I guess I just didn't read it and find that because I was just told, this is only for monsters and this is only for humans. I'm like, I don't know.
That hot. Yeah,
I think that's the thing that made her give up. It's like, oh, fuck this.
Well, fuck this.
Burnt my hand. We should probably clue up now because we're an hour and a half in.
Let's rock it through these. Hey, you guys like Norm Macdonald? I sure do.
Yeah, he's alright.
He's one of the funniest comedians alive, in my opinion.
Is he?
Oh, yes.
It's a lot of cringe humor.
I got a lot of, like, I'd like him, but mostly as almost like the punctuation to some other comedy. Like, not him all the time, but like...
Yeah. A lot of people describe him as the comedian's comic.
That's fair.
So, I don't know. I really like his style of humor. Anyway, he's got a show coming to Netflix, a talk show. Hey, for some reason, do you know... wait, what's this? Do you know what Uglydolls is?
I just researched it. They are plush dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Rory put it on the list. Can you fuck them?
You can only fuck them.
Maybe if you got like 2 of them and you... No.
Anyway, why? Why does it matter?
Robert Rodriguez is directing... Robert Rodriguez...
Did he get a stroke?
Is directing a Uglydolls film, and Pitbull is in it.
Who's Pitbull?
The rapper? I don't know if he's... Is he a rapper? Pitbull?
I would classify him as a pop singer.
Pop, yeah.
Pop?
Yeah.
How about Scumbag? Hey!
That works too. I also don't like Pitbull, so...
Apparently, they're doing a reimagining of The Grudge. Remember that movie that came out, like, less than 10 years ago?
Over 10 years ago.
Was it over?
13 years.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Sorry, 14 years.
Was it the one with the chick whose voice
I love all these little quick time events. They're so
it's
good.
It's the one where the lady crawls out of the TV.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the Ring.
That's the Ring.
I don't know what
this is the one where she's crawling and I think it's got Sarah Michelle Gellar in it.
What are you doing, Adam?
That's the sound that she used to make.
What was
Lara
the Ring?
Croft?
The Ring was the one where she climbs out of the TV.
And you watch the
tape.
VHS tape?
Who was in the Ring?
Nicole Kidman, I believe, wasn't it?
Was it?
Fuck, I don't know.
What?
I thought it was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
No, she was.
No, that was
What
you did last summer.
Let's be honest. Both of these movies are the same.
Well, they're similar because they're what are they? What's the term? Japanese water ghost.
Ghost.
Haunting ghost is what I meant to say.
Sexy boob.
Hey.
Interesting thing in the Ring where she goes to grab the VHS tape out of the pile, right underneath where the VHS the Ring VHS tape is Your Hunter from the Future, which is like the best worst movie of all time. If she grabbed that movie, that would have been a completely different movie.
Naomi Watts.
This is the
Naomi Watts. Very similar to Nicole Kidman.
What a great melee button.
He's climbing right back up at you. Yeah, I mean...
Oh yeah, and Brian Cox threw was it a toaster into the bathtub?
Yep.
Remember that.
Along with a bunch of other things. He really did overkill there. We got a couple of trailers for some movies I'm excited for. One was Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald, which is a follow-up to the first Fantastic Beasts movies. Potentially
Fantastic Beasts.
Oh! Sorry, kids.
Fantastic Beasts. Like the food or Dr. Dre?
Yes. Both. I thought that it was... The first one was a good movie.
Headphones and where to buy them.
But this next one looks to be less focused on the animals and more focused... Because the big twist of Fantastic Beasts 1, spoiler alert, is that the main villain is Grindelwald. Who's played by Johnny Depp.
So
Grindelwald was the greatest evil sorcerer to ever live.
Fantastic right Johnny Depp, somewhere to find them.
Right up until
oh my God.
Stuck that landing.
Voldemort came along.
Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, I bet he'll take the slow way down.
Really looking forward to that one. It looks really good. Dumbledore's in it, and he's playing a young Dumbledore's in it. He's being played by, I believe,
Jude Law.
Jude Law. Thank you.
Jude Law.
And I think he can do a good job of Dumbledore.
I do too.
So because Jude Law's a really good actor.
You ever see Repo Man?
Yes.
With him in it?
Yes. Wait, which one is this?
It's not the musical. Rory. I'm not talking about the musical.
No, that's Repo the Genetic Opera. Those Repo Man and Repo Men. And I've seen Repo Man, but I have not seen Repo Men. Repo Men is the more recent one, correct?
Repo Man is the spiritual sequel to the musical. Repo Men is a Rory classic with Emilio Estevez. And some weird, fucked up green alien car.
I'm talking about the one with Jude Law in it, where he pulls stuff out of himself.
That's the more recent one.
It's like mechanical organs or something.
Yeah, and they there's a weird sexual scene at the end where they haul out their organs together.
No,
I don't remember that.
Don't remember that.
Like I remember Jude Law in it, and I remember because I actually am part of the minority that I really enjoyed the Genetic Opera.
I like the Genetic Opera as well.
I never saw it.
It's you've got to be open to the weirdness of it, I think.
If you don't like Gallivant, and I don't see why you wouldn't, you're probably not going to like this.
Put your barrel in the slot, Aaron.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Just eat the gun.
Can't kill me if I kill myself.
We also got a trailer for Avengers 2. It's the final trailer come out before the release, which is on April 25th. We've all got tickets. Nah. If you don't. The movie, I mean, it showed us really nothing. A couple of new scenes. It showed us a lot of interactions for characters that haven't interacted before. So Doctor Strange and Peter Parker.
I have to watch Thor and Black Panther before this comes out.
You sure will do it.
Oh, yeah.
And you see
work, why don't you?
Iron Man.
You can't go that. Oh, come on.
Tony Stark.
Are you supposed to run?
Star-Lord. See them interacting. So that's.
Or did you learn how to dodge around them yet? Or is he
obviously,
charging
the big
through
question
those
about
doors?
this movie is that whether or not it's going. You're going to see the death of a major character.
Grenades?
Potentially yes, but it's at this point is impossible to say.
I'd say War Machine's going to bite it.
I actually think it's either going to be Cap or.
I don't think they're going to do that again. They pretended to kill him in Civil War.
But I think it's much
more
more
but he's like super old now. He's going to come out and with
they don't even need to have him in half the movie. He's just a CG robot.
Who?
War Machine.
War Machine. See, he looked really old in Civil War.
Anyway.
That's what's driving their decisions.
That's what bacteriology does to you, man.
Although they could just CG him like they did with Tony Stark.
I think that's what we're. I think that's it for topics. Because we're about an hour and 40 minutes in, and this has been a really long podcast.
Sweet.
Do you like the 100?
No.
Nobody has seen the 100. Nobody watches the 100.
How did it get?
Nobody wants to talk about the 100.
The thing is, the 100 I think is right now is Rory's favorite show.
Yeah, it is.
So
it really is.
He can talk about it whenever he's next on, but none of us have seen it, so we can't really talk about it. So thanks for including it on the list, Rory. Basically, what we're saying is that your show's dog shit, not nearly as good as Gallivant. Not nearly as good.
Well,
it's good.
The 100 got renewed, and Gallivant got canceled a long time ago.
Yeah, Firefly also got canceled there.
Yeah, but that's not a great comparison because Firefly was good.
Yeah, so is Gallivant. Have you seen Gallivant?
Is Gallivant on Fox?
It was an ABC show.
Actually.
So there's like a 90% chance it's bad.
No, it's really good.
No,
Jesus, how fast did she work up those ropes?
Well, man, she's good at shooting ropes.
Anyway, I guess that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast.
I hope we offended as many people as possible.
Thanks for listening, Thomas.
If we didn't offend you, our apologies. Watch next week. We'll try and offend you then. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
We'll be
more inclusive in our
Bye, everyone.
See you then.
Bye.